The hydraulic alarm screamed at 2:47 a.m. while I was shoulder-deep in the control panel of a 400-ton mining excavator, trying to isolate a cascade failure that had shut down $18 million worth of equipment. My phone buzzed against my hip. I ignored it. Then it buzzed again and again. I pulled off my work gloves and checked the screen. Cody Barnes, my direct supervisor at Apex Mining Solutions, calling from Denver at what would be 3:47 a.m. his time. I almost didn't answer. When you're managing a mining crisis costing $420,000 per hour in lost copper production, phone calls from corporate feel less urgent than the pressure readings flashing red in front of you. But I answered anyway because that's what 25 years of being a reliable crisis manager conditions you to do. Philip speaking. Wade, it's Cody. I need to inform you of a company decision. Effective immediately. We no longer require your services as senior mining equipment engineer. Your employment is terminated as of today. I looked at the hydraulic panel in front of me. System pressure dropping to 800 psi. Flow rate indicators showing 0. Production units B, C, and D, completely offline due to emergency shutdown protocols. Ashley Martinez, Colorado Mining's operations manager, standing 8 feet away, looking at me with desperate hope, because I was literally the only person who understood these custom hydraulic systems well enough to diagnose failures this complex. My name is Wade Phillips, I'm 47 years old, and I just got fired while managing a mining crisis that nobody else at my company knows how to solve. I understand, I said, keeping my voice level. I'll inform the operations manager that you'll be handling the shutdown procedures for the crisis I'm currently managing. Silence long enough that I thought the call might have dropped. What crisis? The hydraulic system failure that brought me to Colorado yesterday. Units B, C, and D are offline. The failure is costing approximately $420,000 per hour in lost production. I'm in the middle of diagnosing a pressure relief cascade failure. I assume you'll want to send someone else to complete the resolution since I no longer work for Apex. More silence. I could hear him breathing. Wade, let's discuss this after you've resolved the Colorado situation. I don't think that's appropriate. You just terminated my employment. I shouldn't be working on Apex projects if I'm no longer an Apex employee. I'll brief Ashley on what I've diagnosed so far and catch the next flight back to Denver. Or actually, not back to Denver. Since you said not to bother coming back to the office, I'll fly directly home to Utah. Wait, Wade, let me call you back. He ended the call before I could respond. Before I explain what happened over the next 48 hours, let me establish who I am and why that phone call was the most expensive mistake Cody Barnes ever made. I joined Apex Mining Solutions in 1999 as a hydraulic systems engineer specializing in custom mining equipment. I'd learned in the construction industry that when heavy machinery breaks, you fix it fast or operations shut down and people lose jobs. Apex designs and maintains high-precision hydraulic systems for mining companies where production line downtime costs hundreds of thousands of dollars per hour and equipment failures can cost millions in damaged machinery. My role was troubleshooting complex failures in the hydraulic systems that Apex built and maintained for clients. When a mine crashed and the client couldn't diagnose the problem, they called Apex. Apex sent me. Over 25 years, I'd responded to 312 emergency mining crises across 8 states. I diagnosed pressure system failures, valve sequencing errors, hydraulic pump malfunctions, sensor drift, mechanical tolerance issues, and dozens of other failure modes that could shut down multi-million-dollar mining equipment. Most importantly, I developed deep institutional knowledge about the specific systems Apex had designed and installed. Every mine had unique requirements. Every installation had custom modifications. Every system had quirks and edge cases that existed only in my experience-based understanding of how those systems behaved under extreme stress. That knowledge was what made me valuable. That knowledge was also what Cody Barnes had just eliminated from Apex's available expertise at the worst possible moment. The Colorado crisis had started 31 hours earlier. Colorado Mining Corporation, one of Apex's largest clients, had called our emergency hotline at 9:00 p.m. Denver time on Monday, reporting that 3 of their 4 production units had shut down simultaneously. Colorado Mining extracted copper ore. A single production unit processed approximately $420,000 worth of raw materials per hour when running at normal capacity. 3 units offline meant they were losing over $1.2 million per hour in production capacity. Apex's standard protocol for crisis response was to start with remote diagnostics. I spent 4 hours on a video call with Colorado Mining's maintenance team, walking them through diagnostic procedures and reviewing system logs. By 1 a.m., I determined this wasn't something that could be resolved remotely. The failure pattern suggested a fundamental issue with the hydraulic pressure management system that controlled safety protocols for all 3 affected units. I booked a flight to Colorado departing Tuesday morning at 6 a.m., arrived Tuesday at 2 p.m. local time after 8 hours of travel, including layovers. Went directly from the airport to Colorado Mining's facility. Ashley Martinez, Colorado Mining's operations manager, met me at the facility entrance. She looked exhausted. "Mr. Phillips, thank you for coming. We've been offline for 28 hours. Our production schedule is catastrophically behind. Corporate is asking why we can't fix this ourselves, because this failure pattern is unusual. I need to examine the hydraulic controllers directly." She led me to the production floor. 3 massive mining units, each one approximately 80 meters long, filled with conveyor systems, crushing equipment, hydraulic excavators, and the automated valve systems that managed everything with precision timing. All silent, all offline, all costing Colorado Mining $420,000 per hour. I spent the next 9 hours examining the hydraulic pressure system, reviewing fault logs, testing sensor readings, and tracing the cascade failure pattern. By 11 p.m. Colorado time, I'd isolated the root cause, a software bug in the pressure compensation algorithm that managed valve timing across temperature variations. Here's what happened. Colorado's facility had experienced unusual temperature fluctuations over the past week, outside temperatures ranging from 15 degrees to 65 degrees due to altitude and weather variations. The hydraulic system was designed to compensate for temperature-related pressure changes automatically, but the compensation algorithm had a subtle bug that accumulated rounding errors over multiple temperature cycles. After 7 days of temperature fluctuations, the accumulated errors had pushed the hydraulic timing outside of acceptable tolerance. The system detected this and triggered emergency shutdown protocols on Unit B. Units C and D were connected to the same pressure manifold and automatically shut down as a safety precaution. The bug was in custom code that Apex had written specifically for Colorado Mining's installation 6 years ago. That code existed nowhere else. I'd been part of the team that designed and implemented it. I was one of 2 people in the entire world who understood how it worked. Fixing it required modifying the pressure compensation algorithm, updating firmware on all 3 production units, recalibrating pressure sensors, and conducting a controlled restart sequence. I estimated 14 to 18 hours of work. I started at 11:30 p.m. Tuesday night. By 2:30 a.m. Wednesday, I'd modified the algorithm and was uploading firmware when Cody called and told me I was fired. After Cody hung up, Ashley approached me cautiously. "Mr. Phillips, is everything all right? You look concerned. I just got terminated by my employer while in the middle of fixing your production units." Her expression went from concern to horrified. "Terminated? But you're the only person who understands our system. What happens to our units? That's an excellent question. Apex will need to send someone else to complete the work. How long will that take? I don't know. The other engineer who understands this system is Shane Rodriguez. He's in North Dakota managing a client crisis. Apex might have to wait until he becomes available." "How long?" "Shane's engagement in North Dakota is scheduled for another 12 days. Ashley's face went white. "We can't wait 12 days. Every day offline costs us $10 and $100 million in lost production. 12 days would be over $120 million in losses. Then I suggest you contact Apex Corporate and explain the urgency." At 3:45 a.m., my phone rang again. This time, it was Lance Turner, Apex's chief executive officer. Lance had been with the company for 21 years and understood exactly how critical my role was to client crisis management. "Wade, I just got off the phone with Cody. There's been a misunderstanding about your employment status. We need you to complete the Colorado engagement before we discuss any personnel matters." "Lance," Cody was very clear. He said my employment was terminated effective immediately and I shouldn't bother coming back to the office. "That's not a misunderstanding. That's termination. I understand. This is confusing. But let's focus on resolving Colorado Mining's crisis first. We can address your employment situation after you've restored their production units." "I don't think that's appropriate. If I'm terminated, I shouldn't be working on Apex projects. If I'm not terminated, then Cody needs to call me back and clarify that he made an error. This is a critical client situation. Colorado Mining is one of our largest accounts, They're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars per hour. We need you to complete the repair work. Then you need to clarify my employment status first. Am I an Apex employee or not? Long pause. I could hear Lance thinking through the implications. If he said I was still employed, he'd be contradicting Cody's termination and creating internal political problems. If he said I was terminated, he'd be admitting that Apex had just eliminated their crisis response capability in the middle of their most expensive emergency. Wade, let me conference in Cody so we can resolve this together. I'd rather you didn't. Cody was clear about his decision. I'm respecting that decision by no longer working on Apex projects. If Colorado Mining needs assistance, they should contact Apex's emergency response line and request another engineer. There is no other engineer available who understands Colorado Mining's system. That's an unfortunate situation, but it's not my problem anymore, since I'm no longer an Apex employee. I ended the call. Ashley was standing nearby, having heard my side of the conversation. What should we do, Mr. Phillips? You should contact Apex and request emergency engineering support. Explain the urgency of the situation. They'll prioritize getting someone here as quickly as possible. But you're here now, you understand our system. You were in the middle of fixing it. Can't you just complete the work? I was fired 47 minutes ago. I can't ethically continue working on a project for a company that just terminated my employment. What if we hired you directly, not through Apex, but as an independent consultant working for Colorado Mining? I thought about that carefully. That would create contractual complications. Colorado Mining has a maintenance agreement with Apex. That agreement probably has exclusivity provisions preventing you from hiring outside engineers to work on Apex-designed systems. I'll check our contract. She pulled out her phone and called Colorado Mining's legal counsel in Denver. Had a rapid conversation that I couldn't follow completely. Hung up and looked at me with cautious optimism. Our legal team says the maintenance agreement has exclusivity provisions for routine maintenance, but emergency repairs can be conducted by any qualified engineer if Apex cannot provide timely support. They're defining timely support as within 24 hours of request. Has Colorado Mining formally requested emergency support from Apex? I'll do that right now. She sent an email to Apex's emergency response team with me copied, formally requesting immediate engineering support for the production unit failure and noting that the previous engineer, me, was no longer available to complete the repair work. She marked it urgent and requested response within 2 hours. At 5:23 a.m., we received a response from Apex's emergency coordinator. We acknowledge your request for emergency engineering support. Our senior mining equipment engineers are currently committed to other client emergencies. We are working to identify available resources and will provide an estimated response timeline within 12 hours. 12 hours, meaning Colorado Mining would be offline for at least another half day, probably longer, meaning another $5.0 million in lost production at minimum. Ashley showed me the email. What does this mean? It means Apex doesn't have anyone available to send. Shane is in North Dakota, and apparently nobody else at Apex has the expertise to handle this type of failure. So we wait, unless you want to exercise your contract provision and hire an independent consultant. Are you available as an independent consultant? I could be. What would your rate be? I thought about that carefully. Independent consulting rates for emergency mining crisis response typically range from $800 to $1,800 per hour, depending on expertise level and urgency. I was at the top of the expertise scale, and this was definitely urgent. $1,200 per hour for emergency crisis response, minimum 60-hour engagement to ensure complete resolution and system validation. That's $72,000 total payment terms. 50% deposit before I resume work, remaining 50% upon successful production unit restoration. Ashley didn't hesitate. Done. I'll have our CFO process the deposit immediately. At 7 a.m. Wednesday morning, $36,000 cleared into my business account. At 7:15 a.m., I resumed work on Colorado Mining's hydraulic system. The work itself was methodical but complex. First, I completed the firmware modifications I'd started before Cody's call interrupted me. The pressure compensation algorithm needed 3 specific changes: a periodic error reset function, improved temperature coefficient handling, and better tolerance management for accumulated drift values. Each modification required careful testing in simulation mode before implementation. You don't upload untested firmware to an $80 million mining facility. One mistake could damage equipment or create safety hazards that would make the current crisis look minor. By noon Wednesday, I'd completed the algorithm modifications and begun the firmware upload process. This took another 3 hours because each production unit had to be updated separately with extensive verification testing between uploads. While the firmware uploaded, I recalibrated the pressure sensors. These sensors had been drifting slightly over the past 20 months. Not enough to trigger maintenance alerts, but enough to contribute to the compensation algorithm's accumulated errors. By 6 p.m. Wednesday, all firmware updates were complete and all sensors were recalibrated. Now came the critical phase, the controlled restart sequence. You can't just flip a switch and restart a mining operation. The startup process involves dozens of sequential steps, each with specific timing requirements and safety checkpoints. Pressure must be raised gradually. Flow rates must be carefully managed to prevent hydraulic shock or mechanical stress. I started with Unit B at 6:30 p.m. The startup sequence took 2 hours and 30 minutes. At 9 p.m., Unit B was running at full production capacity with all systems functioning normally. Unit C followed the same process starting at 9:15 p.m. By 11:45 p.m., Unit C was operational. Unit D was the last and most complex because it had additional safety interlocks that had to be verified during startup. I began the sequence at midnight Thursday. By 5:45 a.m. Thursday morning, Unit D was restored to full production. Total downtime, 55 hours and 45 minutes. Total production loss, approximately $23.40.4 million. But all 3 units were running again, and the fix I'd implemented would prevent recurrence of the temperature compensation bug. Ashley was watching the production monitors with visible relief as copper ore began moving through all 3 processing units. Mr. Phillips, I cannot thank you enough. You saved us from a disaster that would have been catastrophically worse if we'd waited for Apex to send another engineer. You're welcome. I'll prepare a technical report documenting the failure, root cause, and repair procedures. You should share that with Apex so they can update their systems documentation. Will you be available if we have questions during the follow-up period? Yes, my consulting arrangement includes 30 days of follow-up support for any issues related to this repair. At 3:15 a.m. Thursday morning, I received a call from Lance Turner. I was back at my hotel, exhausted, but satisfied with the day's work. Wade, I understand you completed the Colorado repair work as an independent consultant. That's correct. We need to discuss your employment status. Cody's decision to terminate you was premature. We'd like to offer you reinstatement with full back pay and benefits. I appreciate that, but I'm declining. I'm now operating as an independent consultant. It's more lucrative, and I have better control over which projects I accept. What does that mean for Apex? You're our most experienced crisis response engineer. It means Apex will need to develop other engineers with similar expertise, or accept that your crisis response capability is significantly reduced. That's not acceptable. We have ongoing client emergencies that require your specific knowledge. Then, Apex should have considered that before terminating me while I was literally in the middle of managing one of those emergencies. Wade, I understand you're upset about how Cody handled the situation. I'm not upset, Lance. I'm simply making rational business decisions based on new information. Cody demonstrated that Apex doesn't value my contributions enough to avoid terminating me during a crisis. I've learned from that demonstration. What would it take to bring you back to Apex? I'm not interested in coming back, but I'm willing to discuss limited consulting arrangements for specific emergencies, where my expertise is genuinely necessary. What would those arrangements look like? Apex can retain me as an emergency crisis consultant. $1,500 per hour for active crisis work. $112,000 monthly retainer for availability and consultation. 6-month contract renewable at my discretion. I work remotely unless travel is absolutely necessary, and travel time is billed at the active crisis rate. Silence while Lance processed the numbers. My previous salary as senior mining equipment engineer had been $158,000 annually. I was now proposing a consulting arrangement that would cost Apex approximately $144,000 annually just for the retainer, plus potentially hundreds of thousands more if they actually needed me for crisis response. That's significantly more expensive than your previous compensation. That's correct, but it's less expensive than what happened at Colorado Mining when you didn't have me available. They lost $2,304 million during 56 hours of downtime. They would have lost over $140 million if they'd waited 12 days for Shane to become available. My consulting rate is expensive. My absence is more expensive. I need to discuss this with executive leadership. Take your time. I'm not going anywhere. Over the next 7 weeks, I received 11 emergency calls from former Apex clients experiencing mining equipment crises. Each call followed the same pattern. Critical production failure. Apex couldn't send an engineer quickly enough. Could I help as an independent consultant? I helped all 11 clients. Total consulting revenue, $387,000 for 7 weeks of work. Word was spreading fast in the mining industry. The calls weren't just about money. These operations managers had worked with me for years through Apex. They knew my capabilities and trusted my expertise. When their facilities faced critical failures, they wanted someone who could solve problems quickly and correctly the first time. By June, companies that had never worked with Apex were calling me directly. Operations managers talked to each other at industry conferences. My name came up in conversations about emergency response and crisis management. The reputation I'd built over 25 years was now working for me instead of for Apex. Mr. Phillips, this is Trevor Mason at Northern Copper Mining. We've got a hydraulic failure in our primary excavation unit. Our maintenance team can't isolate the problem, and we're losing $320,000 per hour. Can you help us? These calls became routine. Emergency consulting work paid well, but the real value was in long-term relationships. Companies started asking if I'd be available on retainer for future emergencies. By July, I had consulting agreements with 12 different mining companies across Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and Montana. Each wanted guaranteed access to my expertise when they needed it. Combined retainer revenue, $84,000 monthly, minus $8,000 annually, plus additional project fees for actual crisis work. The retainer contracts were smart business for everyone involved. The mining companies got priority access to specialized expertise. I got steady income and advanced notice of potential work. Everyone understood the value proposition. In August, Apex formally offered me the consulting arrangement I'd proposed to Lance. $1,500 per hour for active work, $12,000 monthly retainer, 6-month renewable contract. I accepted because it was additional guaranteed revenue, and Apex still represented a reliable source of emergency work. That same month, Cody Barnes was terminated. The board had finally calculated the total cost of his decision to fire me during the Colorado mining crisis. The final tally was devastating for Apex. Colorado Mining had reduced their annual maintenance contract by $1.2 million, citing concerns about Apex's crisis response capability. 6 other clients had similarly reduced their contracts after hearing about the Colorado situation, costing Apex another $8 million in annual revenue. Apex had paid premium rates to reassign Shane from North Dakota and fly him to 3 emergency sites I would normally have handled, incurring $240,000 in expedited travel and overtime costs. The company was now paying me $144,000 annually in retainer fees, plus crisis rates that were 85% higher than my previous compensation. Total cost to Apex: approximately $4.6 million in direct losses, reduced contracts, and increased consulting expenses, all traceable to Cody's decision to fire me at 2 to 47 a.m. while I was fixing a $420,000 per hour crisis. Lance called me in September with news of Cody's termination. "Wade, I want you to know that Apex has restructured our engineering management. Cody is no longer with the company. We've learned from this situation." What have you learned? That institutional knowledge has value that isn't captured in salary comparisons. That crisis response capability requires deep expertise that can't be quickly replaced. That decisions about personnel should consider operational impact, not just budget line items. Those are expensive lessons, but important ones. We'd like to discuss bringing you back as a full-time employee. We're prepared to offer significantly improved compensation and a formal role as Director of Crisis Response Engineering. I appreciate that, but I'm earning more as an independent consultant than I ever did as an Apex employee. And I have better work-life balance because I choose which projects to accept. Why would I give that up to return to a company that demonstrated it doesn't value expertise until after eliminating it? Because you built your career at Apex. Because we value your contributions now. Because we want to make this right. Lance, you can make this right by continuing our consulting arrangement and by valuing your remaining engineers appropriately. Don't repeat with someone else what Cody did to me. We've learned from the $4.6 million lesson. I stayed independent. By December 2024, I was managing 12 long-term consulting relationships with mining companies across 4 states. Annual revenue was approaching $1.1 million. I was working approximately 60% of the hours I'd worked at Apex, while earning more than 6 times my previous salary. More importantly, I was respected and valued. When clients called me for crisis response, they understood they were paying premium rates for premium expertise. Nobody questioned my methods or complained about my fees. They'd all seen what happened when production systems failed and specialized knowledge wasn't available. In January 2025, I was invited to speak at the International Mining Safety Conference about crisis response management. I used the Colorado mining situation as a case study, explaining how personnel decisions during active crises can create cascading consequences far beyond immediate operational impact. My presentation focused on 3 principles that had become fundamental to my consulting practice. First, institutional knowledge is operational infrastructure. When you eliminate experienced engineers during active crises, you're not reducing costs. You're destroying capabilities that took decades to develop and can't be quickly replaced. Second, crisis response expertise has economic value precisely because it's rare and difficult to replicate. Companies that treat specialized engineers as interchangeable resources learn expensive lessons when emergencies occur and critical knowledge is no longer available. Third, the cost of expertise is always less than the cost of system failure. A $1,200 per hour consultant who can restore a $420,000 per hour production facility in 56 hours provides dramatically better return on investment than waiting 12 days for less expensive alternatives. After my presentation, 14 companies approached me about consulting arrangements. I accepted 4 additional contracts, bringing my total monthly retainer revenue to $116,000. The irony of my situation isn't lost on me. Apex originally paid me $158,000 annually to maintain their crisis response capability. Now they pay me $144,000 annually just to be available, plus $1,500 per hour when they actually need my services. Last year, Apex paid me approximately $340,000 total for retainer and crisis work, more than double my former salary, and they're still getting better value than they would have if Cody had fired me 6 months earlier instead of mid-crisis. Here's what I learned from this experience. The most dangerous employee to terminate isn't the one who complains or threatens to quit. It's the specialist who's literally solving a crisis that nobody else understands when you decide their position is expendable. Because specialized knowledge doesn't disappear when you eliminate the specialist. The knowledge walks out the door with them. And when the next crisis occurs, and there's always a next crisis, you discover that institutional expertise can't be quickly replaced or easily substituted. Cody wanted to reduce headcount and eliminate what he saw as an expensive senior position. He achieved that goal. My position was eliminated, the headcount was reduced, and the salary expense disappeared from his budget. What he didn't anticipate was that my salary wasn't just compensation. It was insurance against the cost of operational failure. When he eliminated that insurance, he immediately discovered why it had value. 47 minutes after terminating me, he was trying to undo his decision. 14 hours later, his CEO was offering reinstatement. 7 weeks later, Apex was paying consulting rates triple my former compensation just to maintain access to the expertise they'd eliminated. Sometimes the most effective response to being undervalued isn't argument or confrontation. It's simply allowing people to experience the full consequences of their decisions while you build something better for yourself. Cody wanted me gone. I left. Then reality taught him why expertise matters and what institutional knowledge is actually worth. That turned out to be the most expensive lesson in personnel management Cody Barnes ever received, and the most profitable career transition I ever experienced. Now, sitting in my home office in Utah, reviewing consulting contracts worth over $1 million annually, I realized something important. The real value of expertise isn't measured by what you pay for it. It's measured by what you lose without it. And sometimes the best revenge is simply being irreplaceable when someone decides you're expendable. Because when you discover your true worth in the market, you realize the biggest risk isn't losing your job. It's staying somewhere that never knew your value in the first place.